For today, we actually have a very special speaker coming all the way from India. He has been involved in the work of conservation of medicinal plants in south of India for the last 15 years. Originally, he undertook the task of documenting these plants from the local knowledge, and he has since progressed to actually move on to doing lab works over the last 3 years to verify the effectiveness of these medicinal plants. I think some of you actually attended a talk that we had earlier this year by a French professor, Professor Christophe Wyatt, who actually has been in Malaysia for about 20 years. He also has been doing a lot of research on medicinal plants. And of course, one of the question marks in regards to medicinal plants is, how effective are they? Do they really work? Okay, and I think we can get some great insight from our speaker for today on the work that has been done by our counterparts in India, and see how it is compared to our situation here in Malaysia. I think in Malaysia we're also facing many of similar issues, whereby the new generation, unfortunately like myself, we are not undertaking this task of trying to learn about the knowledge that our ancestors have been passing down over the generations. So unfortunately, this valuable knowledge might disappear if nothing is done. So our speaker, Mr. Arumugam, actually has endeavored to make sure that all this knowledge is documented so that it's not lost for the future generation. So without much further ado, I'd like to invite our speaker for today, Mr. Arumugam from University of Madras, Chennai.
So I'm much thankful to the organizers for inviting me to MNSL to share my experience in terms of conservation of medicinal plants that has been carried out in India, particularly in South India, Pondicherry. So we all know that for the last decade, a lot of interest has been given to the medicinal plants, because this is being supporting each and every issues man is facing this modern life. But what happens now, this is of late, a lot of species which has been found in the human domain that has been supporting the human being, several conditions, diseases, all gone now, no more species. So what happened now, India we face a lot of difficulties. Then we thought it's better to go for bringing the species as well as knowledge together, so that the future generation will have a base from which they can assimilate some of the information that would be useful for the posterity. Based on this particular outset, so I carried out my work with a team of people. So one Mr. Pierre is here. He is also part of the conservation of these medicinal plants, which we carried out in Auroville, which is the international city, which is being created the UNESCO, I think by the year 1972. So afterwards, then I moved on to form a special society to address the conservation of medicinal plants and to popularize the medicinal plants for youngsters in collaboration with the government of Pondicherry for 10 years. And then for the last 3 years, I moved on to the University of Madras, Center for Advanced Studies in Botany, to do research on medicinal plants, how it is very effective. Because many informations we have been taking from the tribal people and keep on recording, and most of the records are put into the bureau. Nobody is going to use that information. But I thought it's better to take out one particular information, put it into the science, whether this information holding good for the humankind or not. So that particular information is anti-venom research, because a lot of very good areas are there, diabetes, cancer, so many things. But this particular information I picked up because it was so interesting for me, because the situation where I come across to pick up this particular information from the tribal people was much fascinating towards me. So for the last 15 years I've been holding my seed within myself. Then afterwards, a time has come for me to move on to the university. Now I'm working on the particular plant species culled out from the tribal community, is put for scientific validation, whether this is going to be a potential candidate to address the snake bite. As of now, the snake bite is being addressed only by serum mediated therapy, antibody. Antibody, it's not a complete cure for the snake bites. Maybe it is cured, but afterwards anaphylaxis, the side effects, the tissue damages, all very terrible thing which cannot be cured by the antibody. But plant has got remedy. This is what tribal people have been using for the time immemorial. So that particular thing I'm working on. So with that thing I will go ahead to my thing. So in India, there are very codified streams. There are two streams of knowledge operating in India. One is codified stream, well-written documents. That is Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Amchi and Tibetan. There is another stream which is also equally very good, holding very good information, that is non-codified stream, which is mainly operated by tribal community and traditional healers. If you call Patti Vaidyam and Nattu Vaidyam, that's what we call it. So in India about 8,000 species, of all these two streams, 8,000 species found to be used in the health system. Then which is carried by 4,600 ethnic communities in India. And if you look at across the human being, veterinary, all the areas it's being used, is 8,000 species. If you look at the scenario in India, about 5,000 registered Indian system medicine manufacturing companies are operating in India, of which 90% of medicinal plants are supplied only from the forest. They don't have any cultivation field to support their industries. All the medicinal plants which are being used for the production of the medicines are taken only from the forest. But forest is the public domain. At the cost of public, the industries have been using these medicinal plants indiscriminately, and that leads to a lot of medicinal plants which is disappearing from the forest. So out of 400 species potentially used in the industries, only 40 species, maybe less than 40 species are brought under cultivation. The rest are coming only from the forest ecosystem. So if you look at the threat assessment as per the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, based on the guidelines we operated to assess how the threat situation in India. So we come to know that 125 species are already facing lots of threats in various levels. Some species are critically endangered, some species wild extinct. Wild extinct in the sense you cannot see any species in the forest. That particular condition is wild extinct. Some are critically endangered. Maybe tomorrow or a day after tomorrow, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, those species may be brought under that particular category, wild extinct. That is critically endangered, endangered, rare. Those categories, we come to know that there are 125 species in India which are in danger. So we need to have a Jurassic Park like picture to see that this particular Orozalum indicum I see in Malaysia a lot. That particular plant is one of the important medicinal plants which has been supporting to the very famous traditional medicine, that is Chyawanprash in Himalaya Chyawanprash. So that particular Chyawanprash, the main ingredient Nerlica, that is Phyllanthus emplica, gooseberry. Phyllanthus emplica, gooseberry in English. Another important ingredient is Orozalum indica, that is in Tamil it is Valpadri, I don't know Malay name. That particular plant has already gone out. So if you want to know that particular plant, you have to shoot the picture. Only then the future generation will know that Orozalum indicum was existing in this earth, which has been supporting for production of Chyawanprash Manda. So raw materials getting drastically reduced year by year. leading to use of adulterant and substitutes. So now, we have to agree that for the last decade, throughout the world, there is a positive sign to accept the herbal medicine for the health care. Earlier, people have been, see one example I will tell you. Earlier, suppose 30 years, 40 years back, the rural people, those who are not having money power are using herbal plants. But now, the present situation, last 10 years, those who are having money are capable of going for this herbal medicine. The situation has been changed because very costly herbal medicine. The people who have been using those herbal medicines are not getting those access now, denied. The reason, all the elite people started realizing the importance of usage of the herbal medicinal plants for health care, then which leads to not proper access to the owners of the knowledge, tribal people or local people. This is the situation. So in this situation, so we thought it's better to create a kind of a forum to bring all the species which are facing threats or the species which has been used by the tribal community having still validity in the human domain, all to put together. So what do? Can we be able to do conservation of entire globe? So as of now, I think not even 12% the tropical rainforest in the world. So I would say maybe 6 to 7%, that's the thing. The 6 to 7% of the tropical forest cannot be conserved. It's very huge, time consuming, money consuming. So what we thought, it is better to concentrate in 100 acres of land and give focus to conserve all the local species in the local area. Suppose for example, this is KL. So KL situation, you start conserving the species which has been used by KL people. In this KL region, all can be accommodated in 100 acres of land. These 100 acres will be harboring all the species of KL with the knowledge associated with the species also. So over a period of time, there is a constant evolution of plants and the knowledge. Then the more and more of information keep on building into your system. This will be the base and we will be capturing entire knowledge of KL in 100 acres. That means the lost tradition will be brought into 100 acres in ex situ conservation. So this will be going for future generation. So we thought it is an ethno-medicinal forest. Ethno-medicinal forest is a novel concept. Suppose if you want to create a botanical garden, look at the Singapore Botanical Garden or the Penang Botanical Garden. To maintain that Penang or Singapore Botanical Garden, it's very huge, money consuming. We cannot be able to afford that much of money to conserve all the species. So in 100 acres of land, we need to bring ethno-medicinal forest concept in the sense to simulate the natural ecosystem where each and every plants are exercising their growth. For example, you bring trees, climbers, shrubs, herbs, epiphyte. Those are the angles and elements can be put it into natural way. So you need not maintain. Even 200 years, 300 years, without care it will be conserved. That sort of conservation is a novel concept, ethno-medicinal forest, which is an effective tool to bring knowledge as well as the species, species together for the posterity. That we attempted in 10 acres in Pondicherry, just as a model work involving all the stakeholders, traditional healers, the farmers, the tribal community, the NGO persons, the scientists, the student community, whatnot. All the people's been interacted in that particular 10 acres of land, and now it has grown like anything else without care. So this is the vision, the indigenous restoration of traditional cultural heritage. So this method is an effective method. I told you, not only brings a species, it restores the knowledge. This is the beauty of this thing. So for which, what is the steps we need to do? So simply we need to go for plant collection, germ blossom collection. So whatever area, whatever forest area, the reserve forest or western forest or reminiscent forest, wherever you find that the species are there, which is being used by the local people, you have to collect in terms of seeds.
Not that, see, nowadays, what happens, people going to the forest to collect the larger seedlings. Don't collect the larger seedlings because you are destroying. Our aim is to create a forest in the human settlement which would help us in understanding the growth, understanding the behavior, and that will be useful for future generation to transmit the traditional information. For which, what happens now, people goes to the forest to pick up the large seedlings. Please don't do that. You pick up the seeds, collect the seeds, few seeds. Then you collect some cuttings, the stem cuttings or whatever. With that you have to bring to your place and start propagating. See, this is one of the excursion team. So I had last year I went into a very big forest. That is one of the tiger reserve, Kalakkad Mundandurai, Tirunelveli district south. That is one of the first tiger project which was started in Tamil Nadu. Very big forest, which may be equivalent to Amazon. With the component in the forest, Agastya Malai, can be equated, can be compared with the Amazon forest in terms of nutrient cycling, trigger, species diversity. This is one of the hotspot area. Most of the endemic species are harbored in this Kalakkad Mundandurai Tiger Reserve. We got a special permission from the Forest Department to go for plant exploration. So we brought so much of the materials. So you don't have any shelter to stay there. You don't have any place to cook your food and eat. But you have to do all on the rock only. You have to carry foodstuffs with you, and you have to find a place where you can sleep in the night. While sleeping is a beauty, you have to fire in a circular form, and inside the fire you have to sleep, so that no elephant and the tiger won't come and attack you. This is the way. So it is very risky but interesting, very natural way you have to do it. So after taking our foodstuffs, we are going to another site, shipping for collection. So this is how the species to be collected. Then see, when you go for ethno-medicinal forest concept, collection of species, knowledge, everything, but as long as the species are supporting from wild state to the industry, we cannot be able to conserve the species, for which we need to go for cultivation of those species. We should stop cultivating plants from the wild state. Unless you stop collection from the wild state, you cannot conserve the species for the future generation. So what is the alternative ways? You need to address cultivation of those species which are supporting to the industries. So what are the criteria? Prioritize your species selection. So first priority, plants having wider application in both ISM and modern system. Wider application, both in ISM and modern health system. Then plants which are endangered and threatened in the wild habitats, very facing threats in the forest ecosystem, those species to be brought in and cultivated. Then third thing, plants which are greater demand and short in supply. Maybe large demand, for example, Rhodozella indicum, very large demand, but short in supply. That is why people are going for substitutes. Those kind of species need to be cultivated. Then fifth category, plants which are used in large number of formulations. Again, base for all. See, if you go for ethno-medicinal knowledge, if you go for tribal community, ethno-medicinal knowledge. The ethno-medicinal knowledge is the base for modern drug discovery. Many drugs now which has been supporting human being in allopathy have come from the ethno-medicinal survey. Because in the world there are 250,000 angiosperms, flowering plants. As of now in the world, not even 6% of the floras have been explored for their active principles. This is a situation, it's very costly, time consuming. So it's a clue for us, the biotechnologists, the researchers, the ethno-medicinal informations are based for further research for drug development. In that way, we have been doing drug development in which this particular information I'll tell you, this is Caralluma attenuata, which comes in the dry hill areas in India, South India. When we go for plant collection in the hot sunny days, we need to take the stem, we'll cut the stem and take it and eat it to quench the thirst, So what happens, this information has been culled out from the tribal people and hi, I'm the victim now. I just transferred into a biotech company when they've been looking for one plant for to work out a drug for slimness, body slimness. They found very interesting compound. That's the first of its kind, and they patented. If you eat this particular stem, your body will be slim. So USA, which is being marketed, body, that is commercial name is Slim-O-Limma. 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 So I have been teaching our tribe, our local people, self-help groups, that women groups, which has been potential carriers of the knowledge. We have been giving training to the women groups to take this particular stem to reduce your body bulky mass. They never mind, because it's very easy, like this. Okay, the next year shift into 80 plant, 20 plants. This information has been culled out, documented by the scientists in the institution. Then they come out very useful component. Then it has been formulated as a Jivanya. It's a medicine, Jivanya, health promoting medicine. This is the only one which fetch intellectual property right. Then subsequently, some sort of profit has been shared to the community whom this information has been taken out. I'll tell you, I'll show the plant afterwards. This is the plant. Tricopus zalanicus, variety zalanicus. So where the sheath plants, not more than this height from the forest floor. So fruits will be there. I think this particular plant doesn't have fruits. You can take. But now what happens now? The leaf also being used, because fruit, one or two fruits will be there. It's endemic, nowhere else in the world. Only in India, nowhere else in the world. This is called endemic. So now, to have the farmers, the better understanding. See, if you create the ethno-medicinal forest without addressing any stakeholders, it is not going to be protected after you leave the site. So instead, you bring all the stakeholders, you bring the traditional healers who have been nurturing this kind of living tradition, you bring the farmers who have been cultivating, you bring the students, all the people should be brought inside and discuss with them and make a commitment with them. You involve in the conservation process, then this will be useful and it's a permanent one. So that's how the farmers from various places in Pondicherry brought in, and we have been discussing what sorts of plants to be cultivated and how many acres you will be offering to cultivate this one. Then it's very easy to tell you people to cultivate this one. I can tell you, okay, Tricopus zalanicus, you cultivate in 100 acres. After the cultivation of 100 acres, what will happen to the plants? Who will come and procure? Because medicinal plants, it's not a food plant. Suppose if I cultivate rice, 100 acres, there are agencies to lift the rice. But if I cultivate these medicinal plants, who are the people to come and lift? Nobody will come. After the harvest, when people will come in, okay, I want 100 ton of this material, you cultivate. Then you cultivate. Afterwards, people won't come for picking up the material. And you will be keeping in your house. How long you will keep 100 ton of material? Then tomorrow one person will come. He himself will send another person. Okay, you go and ask that guy is storing 100 ton of material. You go and ask. Maybe originally he might have committed for 100 ringgit per kilo. Then this guy will go and ask, can you give me 5 rupees, 5 ringgit? What to do? He should not keep for a long time in his house. He doesn't have a space also. Then he is forced to give for 5 ringgit. So 10 ringgit to 5 ringgit, that guy getting. So it's better to go for contract farming, agreement. Yes, this, bank guarantee. So we have been doing this kind of thing in India, bank guarantee. So you are the trader, I am the farmer, the bank will give guarantee to the farmer. Yes, irrespective of you take or not, the bank will give me the money once it is harvested. And you will be giving surety to the bank. So fine. This is how all the things will be worked out only in the meeting. Here farmers are there, bank managers, he is the bank manager. So many people are involved in the process. That's how it should be taken out. So again, there is no medicinal plants that has been taken. So this on particular information I bring now, this is a very famous traditional bone setting plant. I don't know whether you have this kind of information in India. Still in the rural areas, the kettles, the veterinaries, when bone is broken, so it's not brought into the hospital. Even, see, I am standing here very healthy. I met with maybe 10 accidents in my life in the botanical exploration. So according to doctor's certificate, they said I cannot be able to trek because my bone, patella, hand, everything is broken. What happened? After 3 months of time, if you don't believe me, I went into a trekking to the forest by walking. After coming down, I went and told to the doctor, doctor, I come from the Kolli Hills. Okay, don't go to the Kolli Hills and all, you be here in the home. Maybe for the relaxation you went into car. No doctor, I didn't go by car, I went into the plane. From plane I trekked all the height. What a crazy guy was. Then afterwards he said, okay, you can walk here afterwards. Because with help of these things, the traditional bone setting medicinal plants, Harumocorpum senoides. So these kind of informations are there in the people's domain. Arthroporosis, osteoporosis. After the menopause, see, lot of calcium, phosphorus depletion, the bone is becoming very weaker. So you take these leaves, so which is full of calcium, phosphorus, which strengthen your bone. It's very good. So you have to think of other areas also. Because always there is a contradiction between the allopathic and the traditional. People know, because they have studied 5, 6 years, 10 years, they put all their efforts in the lab, no? All of a sudden a traditional healer comes and says, I have medicine for AIDS. Nobody believes. But of course he has got medicine. Nobody believes. And this is the way. So the time will come to have a compromise, to understand, they realize the importance of traditional medicine. Only then the thing will work. So for which, no, you need to have a kind of nursery. Nursery is the heart of your plantation program. You should have quality nursery. The arrangement you see, the shade net, everything properly you have to maintain. Only then the seedling qualitatively will be producing. Then you can supply to the farmers, you can supply to the needy people, whoever comes you can give. This is the Slimolima plant, you see. I produce 1 lakh plants. 1 lakh. Slimolima, mainly to distribute to the householders. Each and every household come, just pay 1 rupee, 1 seed, 1 rupee. I don't know how much in cent Malay. 1 rupee, Indian money, 1 rupee per seedling. You take 10 plants, 15 plants, tack. That is how, very cheaper. So most of the students, school groups, see, I'll tell you, most of the weeds, you know, you understand, I think I also seen there. The weed plant may be a beautiful flower once you come to know. I think the message is there in the down. What I am saying now, most of the weeds are medicinal plants. You may be finding that this is useless. That has got high medicinal value. In India, we will be having one plant, thorn, 5, 6 sides thorn, that is called the Tribulus terrestris. If you go on barefooted, it will stick onto your foot. You throw it out. But what happens now? That is high medicinal value. That is for urinary trouble, kidney, stone breaker. Understand? So most of the weed plants are having medicinal qualities. So unless the young generation, the student communities are educated that the weedy plants you consider as weed are having high medicinal value, they never respect the plant. They never respect. Then what happens? We orient the student communities exposed to the site, explain each and everything. And in Tamil Nadu there is another thing. If you buy new schools, once it's open, they will give you books and notes wherein they will paste one label, write the name of the candidate, the book, the subject, and the label will be pasted on the book after making wrapper. What happens in our place? They will be making the label after the actor or actors. Rajinikanth, Kamal Haasan, maybe Rajinikanth you are aware. Then our actress Kushbu or something like that. But we intervened in this particular junction, printed label with Tribulus terrestris, that is VD plant, Mimosa pudica, tribal plant. Just name of the plant, uses, part used, what for? Simple message. It's being given to the students. At this age, when they come to know the importance of these VD plants, definitely when they grow up in future, at least they may become a politically sound person in future. They'll have this kind of information. They look for making kind of measures to safeguard. Otherwise, no, these people also will know. In Tamil, no, there is one plant. I know people are here, somebody else. Adathoda. Most of the cup syrup which is being manufactured in this modern life, one particular plant, Adathoda vesica, Adathoda, which is called Tamil. Without Adathoda, no herbal cup syrup. But how many of the young kids going to the schools are knowing that Adathoda is having such a property? Nobody knows. So unless you educate the youngsters, the school going, nothing you can bring out. So again, I told you the polycultural method. This is one important method. Polycultural method of planting trees, shrubs, climbers, simulating the natural ecosystem. So to understand the simulating the natural ecosystem, you must know the biotic association of each and every plant. That means, if you look at one tree here, what are the plants associated along with that? That you must understand. Not that the particular useful plant alone you cultivate. You said it is conserved. It's not correct. Maybe to bring one useful plant, 2, 3 non-useful plant also to be brought inside. Only in that ambience this grows very well. So in order to bring out ethno-medicinal forest concept, you must know the biotic association of each and every species that you are going to bring and introduce into the ex situ site. This is a very important thing. Over a period of time, over a period of experience only, you can come to know what sort of biotic association each and every plant is being keeping with them. It's very important aspects. So traditional healers, see this particular traditional healer. So I've been referring. So this is the important traditional healer in my life, because he is the man showing, see this wood which is used for snake bite. He is showing this plant is used for a snake bite, and he is holding another plant, snake bite. It's a traditional recipe. This particular information he has been keeping from his forefathers years together. Oral tradition, no written tradition. Maybe I will be referring to transferring to my son or daughter. Then again he will be telling to his son or daughter, no outsiders. But maybe I am the breakers. He passed on these informations to me, trusting me that I will be using for the beneficial, that is useful ways. So this particular information is good for tribal thing, tribal information, good for snake bites. Especially it is good for cobra and Russell viper. These two species, the snake venom only, I am going to test it out with this formulation, whether this is working or not. So finally, if this particular recipe is working very well for the snake bite, definitely we will work out the modalities, how to share the profit to this guy. When I start giving profit to this guy, many people from the community will come. No. This information not exclusively belongs to him. This belongs to a community. Then you have to consider the whole community together and work out the modalities, strategies, how information is to be passed on to them. Only then he will be happy. Then I will be happy. Otherwise, I will be doing injustice to him. This is another guy recently come across. This guy is a specialist for snake bites. He has got things in the capsule. What he says now, astonishing, amazed. You take 5 capsule. Take 5 capsule. Put it into 30 ml of cold water. You shake very well. Then give to him. In half an hour, snake bite is cured. Half an hour, snake bite is cured. It's challenging. What sort of person? Nowadays, it's a very big problem to treat the venomous snake bites. But this man is saying, take 5 capsules, put it into the water, 30 ml of cold water, shake it very well, then consume. Snake bite is cured, especially cobra and
any snake.
yes, no, only 2 species.
Venomous.
Only 2 species says cobra and Russell viper. How? So this information to be validated scientifically. Maybe maybe I'll take 1 minute, just little diversion.
About cultivation one and the wild one, the
Yeah.
potency is same, not different.
Different.
Wild one and the cultivate one,
That is another story.
another story.
That is another story. That what a story is that? Because a medicinal plant which is coming from the wild state are having high vigorous. The vigor is very high.
Yeah.
The same plant, when it is cultivated in the field, it may not be having that sort of property.
Yeah.
So how long we'll be saying the same thing? That's what my question. People have been saying if you take this particular concept to the traditional healer, they will be saying, no, don't cultivate. You have to take medicinal plants only from the forest. If you cultivate, the vigor will be lost. Okay, I'll be asking the same question. How long? You have depleted so much of resources. Again, you will be depleting so much of resources, saying the same concept. So what is the solution for that? What is alternative remedies? So I am saying, if you take 10 grams of the wild medicinal plant, you take 20 grams of the cultivated source. Matter is simple. Or go for doing research. Understand? Find out the optimum dose. So unless we do, we cannot be able to safeguard the precious the medicinal plants. It will be wiped off. So coming to this point, this what he says, this one, the particular area I was coming. Most of the traditional healers, if you go and talk, they will say, I have treated 100 patients of snake bites. If you look at us, only one person died, you might be saying. Only one person died. I would say that I am pessimistic. I am saying the one person who died might be due to poisonous, venomous snake bite. The 99% he has cured might be due to non-poisonous snakes. I doubt my knowledge because I need to go ahead. Might be true also. But this fellow is very strongly says, yes, I get cured. Then I had spoken to many people. Those he has been cured, he has been keeping record. Then I spoke to those people, whether you got this kind of things and all. He said, yes. With Ram Prasad Vaidya, we take 5 capsules dissolved in 30 ml of water, which was very good to cure the snake bite. This is how people are saying, good living certificate. So, I am taking this particular medicine for my validation part. Second, the schools. Most of the schools in our Pondicherry state, we will be having a program that is School Herbal Garden. So, we will be taking around 20 to 30 plants, which are very essential to address the simple health care for headache, for fever, dysentery, diarrhea, skin disease. These kind of issues, you need not go to the allopathic hospital. Don't go to the allopathic hospital for purchase of sardine or anacin or paracetamol. When you come across, you take Tinospora cardifoliae. It's a climbing plant. Take the stem, cut into, put little bit of ginger. You have got Malaysia's got full of ginger, very healthy ginger. When compared to India, I found very healthy ginger. Take one piece of ginger, make a decoction, boil it, filter it, consume it. It's very good for fever. So no need to go to hospital to buy one paracetamol. Similar, lot of like that, 30 plants, bundle it as a package. We will be giving to schools wherever empty space like this there. We will be modeling students to go for bringing herbal garden in the schools. That means 30 plants information is being given to the people. And any time, whenever they come across any problem, they will take these plants and use it. But we will be giving training. We will be giving training. Maybe 1 hour I cannot be able to give you everything. I'm just giving you. But in India, when we go to the classroom, I will be taking all the equipment, stove, vessels, that everything I will be keeping. Then I will demonstrate how a kashaya to be prepared, how much one has to drink. All the information I will be giving to them. Then subsequently, when they come across this particular issue, they will consume. Then eco-friendly. No, you are saving money and you are saving your health. Because when you go for allopathic, tomorrow there will be another problem. So that is not going to be here. And third thing, when you cultivate medicinal plants, you are addressing the national concern. Green. At many level, you are addressing the simple issue in a very humble way with having herbal garden, the school groups. This is one of the important plants, very important plants, Western Ghats species, very important plants. Nowadays people will be having a knee problem. So, knee problem, old people may be having the knee problem, this will be having a lot of problems, that enzyme problem, all the things. So, this one, we will be telling people, take the leaves, make a soup. So, Malaysia is famous for soup. Whenever you go, I've been delighted to have soup here. So, they will add leaves, then we will be having other way, pepper, piper nigrum, then garlic, then some tomato. This all you crush ginger, and then make a decoction, drink it slowly, continuously, maybe weekly once or twice, whenever you get time, then your problem will be addressed. Very simple hair, very common hair. This is called as a Kadapa fruticosa. Kadapa, C-A-D-A,
It's
Kadapa.
locally available here.
Huh?
locally available in Malaysia? No.
I have not
Species.
seen this one. Sorry, I have not seen this one.
Not in Malaysia.
I have not seen one. Even 2-3 forests I have been, I haven't seen one because
Oh,
this is there in these drier areas,
Dry areas.
not in the wet evergreen, full rainfall areas.
Yeah.
Dry areas. Maybe dry areas we should see this one. See again this one, Equatorium triply nervi. This is for any piles disease. Piles. Now piles is concerned, no, the body heat and all. You will be having so much of problem. The fissures and the blood leakage while you go for motion and all, no. That this particular plant is the Equatorium triply nervi. Very good. Simply you can take 2-3 leaves. That's all. 2-3 leaves, which is not so bitter also. Then this one is a very ornamental one. I think we have seen in Malaysia, one of the Malaysia it is this plant. Malaysia it is there. So these two are very good for piles. And this particular thing, the leaf, no, you can eat it. You can eat even as a fresh leaf. This is a Jivanti. In India, if you tell Jivanti, Jivanadi, the immortal. If you start taking this particular plant, no, your system will be regenerated. That's how we call it. So we take this one as a leafy vegetables. We just cut and take like that. And even the tuber also very good. You can take the tuber out and you can consume this one. So why I'm saying now, these are the species which have been found in the evergreen forest in the Western Ghats. In Pondicherry state, we didn't have any forest. Maybe in India, only state without forest, Pondicherry, my own state, no forest. But what happens, after having this program, ethno-medicinal forest concept introduction, we could conserve 600 plant species. So now, Pondicherry in 10 acres, we have got so much of species. So now it has been conserved. Now I am saying the point you can say, it is conserved. The sense, no, even for 100 years, this particular plant will produce seeds. This particular plant will give you planting material, cuttings. So it is not wiped off. Maybe in the forest, Western Ghats, it will be wiped off. But in 10 acres, it won't be wiped off because this is getting protection from the people. All the people are giving protection. The farmers, traditional healers, students, teachers, researchers, everybody is giving protection. So this won't go away from the people's domain. This is the beauty of the ethno-medicinal forest concept. Then same thing, this one. So this particular plant, no, in the old palm script, we had India, we have got a lot of palm script. That is the palm leaf, all the important legends have been written down. So for writing on the palms, this flower yield a kind of blue dye. This dye will be applied on the palm leaf. Afterwards, only they will be writing on that. That is why these letters have been preserved even 5,000 years. See the beauty, this particular thing. How many people now, the present generation knows that the palm leaf has got this particular flower, dye is being applied. So unless you have this kind of concept, no, you cannot enjoy, you cannot satisfy the future generation. You have to convince the future generation, only then they will understand. Then
You mean the Buddhism, the sutta, they write on the palm leaf?
Palm leaf, yes, palm
The
leaf,
sutta,
no.
the sutta, the in the Buddhism one.
Ternatya clitoriaga.
Not Clitoria ternatia.
No.
Clitoria ternatia is not at all. This one, Mimizilon umbelatum. Tamil is called Kasambu.
The dye lah, dye
The flower. And one more thing, this leaf, no. I'm the first man who propagated this particular plant for consumption in Pondicherry. In the sense, no. Once I was traveling in the forest, I have been looking at this plant. What is this? Then I've been because we botanists now always will be keeping a lens that this and all what species, stamina, all that thing you'll be analyzing. The one tribal fellow has come. What you are doing here? I said, I'm just identifying what it is. Okay. You do your thing. Come. He brought handful of leaf. You take, eat. I said, no, is it edible? No, you take. He was very angry. When I refused to eat, you take. Then I find the beauty. It is sweet taste. He says, if you keep on eating this one, your body will be strength. Your system is regenerated. Then only he told the story, how this is pumped, everything. Then I go back into the library, referred whether this particular plant has got any applications to protect the pumpkin leaf and all. It's found it's true. And how come you deny this intake also go wrong. So tribal informations, no, I'll tell you, the tribal informations, the local informations are practical ecological knowledge. If any particular information is not holding good to the human being, it's not working, that will be wiped off that particular period itself. It won't continue for another 100 years. Now I am talking to you, my talk or my information is not useful to you. Before leaving this hall, no, just you will throw it out and go. If it is good, no, you will continue. Similarly, the practical ecological knowledge is concerned, unless this is not holding good, it won't be kept. So we have strong belief that this practical ecological knowledge, tribal knowledge, has got very good validity. Only thing, we the modern people should look into each and every plant with our own science and prove, yes, this is working well. This is the beauty that we have to do it. The future scientist, the biotechnologist, then this will be the holistic way we are dealing with this traditional information. This is there in Malaysia, Orozoilum indica. See, this is what you see now is the aloe vera. Aloe vera. Aloe vera, no, nowadays, no, what happens? According to me, I've been telling, see, a medicinal plant which has got one property, maybe medicinal value, or cosmetic value, or food value. But this aloe vera has got three in one. Such a nature's gift. In India, what happens, maybe 10 years before, I used to find this particular plant at the entrance of the house, hanging to ward off evil spirit. This is the way this has been used. And most of the new cars, when it is bought in India, they will put on front of the vehicle to ward off the lemon fruit, this aloe vera, then so much of chilies, all that things. So I've been telling people, yes, such a great nature's gift, aloe vera, which has got all the three in one, which is not for just superstitious belief and faith alone. You eat, it's a very good. See, I would say, which has got so much. See, human being requires 24 amino acids. Am I correct? 24 amino acids. Out of which 18 amino acids this aloe vera has got. It has got all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and more than 200 enzymes. What happens in Malaysian situations, I need to tell. Most of the people are eating fast food. Okay, but one good thing I find, no, you are all eating a lot of leafy vegetables and vegetables. It's a compensated. Unless that particular part, no, you will be very, very miserable. But still, I'll tell you, you need lot of enzymes. These enzymes, how do you get, no? When you eat the aloe vera like plant, the fresh plant, you have to take, without cooking you have to take. That has got lots of enzymes. That is the reason the traditional food has been very healthy. Nowadays, we are not taking anything else, everything cooked. Very fast food, chemicals, that and all, that's the reason. So this aloe vera, we first time in Pondicherry made into people's health drink. I again got this formula from the tribal community. I conceived this formula. I took this aloe vera, very healthy leaf, cut the leaf, take the pulp out, add some ingredients. That is piper longum, piper nigrum, then gingiber officinal, suku. I don't know, these three ingredients. Then three more ingredients, nellikai, gooseberry, kadukai, Ternalia bellerica, then Ternalia cebula, these three. Then little pinch of elachi powder, that is cardamom, little powder. Then palm sugar, not white sugar, palm sugar. If you add now, nicely you can take the drinks and be popularized. Everywhere if you go to Pondicherry now, I made a point now, the people who are going to the college, 3-4 people should be pulled off and I will be training how to make this drink and take it into the Sandai, Udawad Sandai, where people are assembled morning hours. He sell out 500 rupees. The ingredients now, first 3 months I will be supporting, our society was supporting. He takes every money. Then afterwards, happily he comes and sit for 2 hours, earn 500 rupees, spend the ingredients and some 100 rupees, carry 400 rupees, go to the college, study. And then it is going to the self-help groups and post office, everywhere now people start taking help to drink. So earlier, this one was made into only to ward off evil spirits. And in front of the car they will tie and to drishti, something like that. Now, such a medicinal plant. This is how each and every plant is to be looked into, attended very carefully, popularized to the level people accept that all the things possible. Only you have an effective conservation site, arboring all the species, constant interaction. They will believe, youngsters will believe. Older people will come forward, happily transfer the information that this group is doing wonderful work. This is again my country.
Possible to get the recipe from
Aloe vera? Yeah, I'll tell you that recipe at the end of the talk.
No, aloe vera.
Aloe vera. You take, no, I'll tell you, aloe vera.
Any species?
Aloe
Some,
barbadensis.
huh?
I have been seeing Malaysia a lot.
Some aloe vera leaves they got spots on. Is it also can
No,
take?
aloe vera without any spines. There are 3
No,
species.
fine. They got spots, white spot. That one is can take orally.
Yes. Aloe vera.
Don't care any species lah. Just aloe vera.
Aloe vera. What I have been seeing in Malaysia, aloe vera is there. No other species.
I know some got 2
Then
or
one
3.
species, aloe foxy, that is there in the USA. And one more species, I forgot now.
I have one in my garden. They got white patches. White spot.
White spot is there, no? That is aloe barbadensis, aloe vera. That is very good.
That
But
one can-
that one, you should allow to
But
grow.
the leaf is very small one.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling
Smoky
you.
one.
I'm coming to that particular point. You have to keep only one plant in one pot.
Why?
One plant in one pot, allowing the plant should
To
exercise the full growth. What happens, I see, they keep 10 plants, 15 plants together,
Yeah.
it won't grow.
Yeah.
It won't grow
Very
exercise.
small, very
It is
small.
very small.
Yeah.
You have to get at least one leaf 500 gram in weight. You can get even 1 kg in one leaf. If you cut the leaf, the gel inside gel, no, very turgid.
Yeah.
just to eat the jar on it.
I'll tell you, again you take the 2 inch size, cut it, transverse, take the gel out, and put it into what? Again people will be saying, no, you got to wash 5 times, 6 times, 10 times. No need to, because earlier, 100 years back, 50 years back, 10 years back, people have been collecting this plant only from the forest. Forest, no, in summer season if you collect, the plant looks pinkish color, reddish color. Reason is that when there is no enough water, it produces lot of aloin content, very bitter content. That is giving you reddish color. Once here, now we brought into cultivation stage. We are putting a lot of water. Always the plant looks green in color. Once you look, this is green in color, you collect the leaf, cut the thing, take the gel out, immediately you put it into the mixer. Okay? Then you buy in the traditional shops pepper, that is long pepper, that is ginger, dried ginger, everything is there. You mix it, keep it one container. You take 1 teaspoon. Then another thing, gooseberry, Phyllanthus symbolica, then Terminalia cebula, Terminalia ballerica, everything is there. You make powder, keep it one container. You take half teaspoon, right? Then 100 to 100 ml palm sugar, depending upon your taste, palm sugar. You just crush, put it in the water, then pour into the mixing. Then only 1 pinch of cardamom, elachi powder, you just add into that. Maybe 1 half lemon fruits, just squeeze it. Right? Ready. Close the mixer, on it. Within 2 minutes it's ready. Okay? You take at least 1 glass full. Anytime you can drink. No time. Then people will say, yes, if I start taking continuously this aloe vera juice, no, I'm getting cold sinus and all. Yes, the cold sinus is coming to you. It's not the problem with the aloe vera. It's a problem with your system. Being taking lots of alkaline acidic food which has been accumulated in the system, all that is being expelled out. So it will be there for 2-3 weeks. That's all. Then afterwards, it will be normalized, acclimatized. Till that thing, don't be panic. Aloe vera doesn't have any harm effect. Everything is useful.
I heard that aloe vera is a natural steroid, but the steroid elements inside.
Aloe vera. Nothing, because I'm saying no, the aloin is the only component. Aloin.
How do you spell that?
Aloin. It is a bitter one, aloin. This particular one, when you pluck the aloe vera, you just cut it, you just hang it for a few minutes. All the aloin will be drained. But this exercise you have to do only when you go for food consumption. When you use it as a medicine, maybe you want to cut a wound on your skin, no? Don't do that. That aloin is a medical property.
That's the one that they say is.
Yes, which is drained out, yellowish one, that has got high medical property.
So we need to drain that out.
Drain, yeah, before consuming. Just drain out, all the things will go out. then you put it. Very good. And only some people, it has got some kind of allergy. But most of the people doesn't have. But those who face that kind of problem, they just hang for 2-3 minutes. You just decant the yellowish alloy, then you can go for consumption. When you add this traditional recipe, all the thing I'm telling you, that will neutralize all the residues of aloe vera got. That's a beauty, traditional formula, colored from the tribal people. Then this one is the noni. This one everybody knows. Noni health drink. Noni health drink. If you see the India, all the people who are been sleeping, they will be running the advertisement. Because the knee problem, all the world problem, everything is being addressed. This noni health drink. And we in India, we had another species, Morinda pubescens. This is Morinda citrifolia. Morinda pubescens is there, which you can eat as such. I'm telling, this 1 liter is costing about how much? 1,200 rupees.
Very sour.
1,200 rupees. You forget about the sour taste and all. 1,200 rupees, this noni health drink. I am telling you, you grow this noni tree plant, take 5 fruit, that put it into 1 liter of water, just to squeeze it, take the seeds and other debris out, okay, filter it, or just take it out, you add the required quantum of palm sugar, heat it little bit warm, then consume. The 5 fruit is costing 1,200 rupees. Which has got everything.
Tastes like cat vomit.
Which has got everything, sir. Everything. Holistic. So, this is how we need to propagate this information. Yeah, this is aloe vera. See, you have to order like this, one. If you put together, you won't exercise this thing.
If aloe vera just take out the jelly.
Yes.
Just like that, eat raw can.
In raw also you can take. I'll take as such raw. I don't want to put it into all the traditional recipes. I'll just take the gel and eat.
Then the outside skin, not
Skin don't waste it. The skin also don't go.
Then?
Because this dye, when you dry it out, in India we used to make herbal shikakai, herbal shampoo. You add into that. Herbal shampoo when you prepare, you add into that. Hibiscus flower, then this leaf, then acacia poinsettia, that is shikakai. And many ingredients you just add and make powder, apply, the foam will be there. It's very good for dandruff, anti-dandruff, anti-dandruff. Very good. Aloe vera, everything is useful.
You mean to say that aloe vera?
Aloe vera.
You know the when you cut it
Okay.
or you burn it,
Yeah.
they call it sap.
Yes.
The sap.
Yes.
The sap sticky one.
Sticky. That you drain it.
Oh.
That actually another beauty is there.
medical value.
That
Oh,
is
medical value on the sap.
high medicinal value. That's sap.
That one also can take
Huh?
directly lah.
Which one?
If early morning I wake up, I just pluck
Yes,
one, I just pluck one leaf.
empty stomach you can take it. In India, wow, we will take no. We will put it in the buttermilk.
The
Buttermilk.
sap also can take lah. The sap.
Sap, no, sap. Sap. I think you ought to know your prakriti, your body condition. Only then you should take. But as a food, when you
No,
go
no
for
diarrhea lah, no diarrhea.
again something different. I need to go through each and every body condition. Whether you can take this aloe sap or not, you should ascertain. Only then you have to take safely. You decant that aloe in that yellowish liquid. Then take the gel. That you take empty stomach, or you put it in the buttermilk. 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 What do you call buttermilk?
Moru.
Moru. Buttermilk. You take it. Very good. Actually, in Tamil it is called kumari. Kumari. It is woman friendly. Many issues, no. It's very good for aloe vera. Aloe vera is such a
Wonder herbs lah.
yeah. This is what I was saying. Body slimness. This one. That is Caralluma. See how the woman how they are taking aloe leaf, no? They are preparing aloe health drink. They are cutting down the leaf, taking out the pulp, and preparing this. Then landscaping. I will come to this point. I am very happy, I am very glad that I am in Malaysia because everywhere it is greenery, right kind of species are being brought into the streets, and is one very good thing I have been observing. But in India, I don't know, maybe the landscape concepts, you know what I am referring, on the roadside plantations, on the school campus or anywhere else, the park, the garden, whatever you create, everywhere you can see, maybe I would say 80% exotic plants. You know, exotic plants, species not native to that particular locale. It has come from other area. Maybe it has come from USA, maybe it has come from Australia, it has come from Africa, but not your own plant. What happens? Then people will be asking, I've been addressing this question. Okay, try to plant indigenous plant species on the roadside, for avenue trees, for recreational area, park, everything, do it. Don't put exotic plants. Then people started asking me, why are you against the plants? We are not here to discriminate people even. You are going to discriminate plant species. Sorry my dear, I'm not telling like that. I'll tell you the science behind that. If you go and look at the eucalyptus plantation, underneath, do you see any plants are growing? And all the litter materials which are fallen, it takes years together to get decomposed. Why? It is allelopathic effect. Some sort of exotic plants, when you add into your system, your insects, your earthworm, your microorganism, fungus, bacteria, all are starved and not given the sufficient food. The litter materials which is fallen on that are given sufficient food. They eat. In turn, they convert the leaf into the assimilable nutrients. In turn, the plant absorbs and we are getting the fruits, the grapes. It's a natural ecosystem which has been maintaining. We have to salute the natural, the microorganisms. Unless the microorganisms are not there, the whole world may not be fit for the human being. So this such a concept which is hidden into that, which is simply taking care. If you look at one American scientist has evaluated, calculated the ecosystem services which is being offered to the earth, which is equivalent to $33 trillion. We have to pay. All these services we are getting from the natural, from the microorganisms. So we are doing a lot of research studies, these hibiscus flowers. So in these hibiscus flowers we have been making a beautiful syrup. Very beautiful syrup out of that. Then we will drink. I think it is a national flower. We also start enjoying the hibiscus flower and make a beautiful herb drink.
The color of the flower.
Flower, you will get the
color.
Only this one.
Yeah, some other
The white,
color.
the red one.
Some other color.
Not some other colors. Not two, wild one. 5 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals. There are multi petals, which is not having medicinal value. 5 petals only medicinal value. White is not medicinal value, not others. See, a lot of people from various places come, services, documents, interact. They also go with enthusiasm to go and do this kind of model in other places. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Any doubt, any queries, please welcome.
Do you have any questions? Are you doing any work here?
No. I'm actually my friend here is there. We work together. So he's here in Malaysia. He's a GI specialist. So every year I visit and stays with him and go around the streets and go to the botanical garden Penang. And earlier I have been working for the Malaysian government to establish similar concepts. To this, some 6 visits. Most of my friends, well-wishers, everybody is sponsoring.
Well, why the Malaysian government against or?
No, see, actually it's very difficult to move the government, no, to see in the party people, just you allow people to interact, then in a consensus you can arrive. But without meeting the people, just concept alone going across the mind, how people will perceive how it is important and all, it's not possible. That's why you need to address to the people, then people has to take forward these kind of concepts, not the politicians. It's very difficult. Sorry, my friend is going to
I see quite a scary phenomenon here is lately everyone is talking about herbal medicine.
Okay.
But I see two things very worrying. Number one, they don't really know how to identify the species. I see a lot of people consuming the wrong species.
Yes.
It's really scary.
Yeah, I understand. That's the biggest problem now. That's why each and every species now I just portrayed, no. What happened, no, in my place, when I go for training to people, I will take all the live plant with me. Maybe 10 plants I'm going to teach the people, 10 plants I will be carrying with them. And sometimes I will be asking people to my center, I'll show them first.
You have any
I have a lot of plans.
You don't have the history.
My laptop, no, lot. I think there.
Show us some.
Lot. So I need to take to them. Unless you know the right plant you are referring, it's very difficult because most of the plants looks like similar.
Especially here, the diversity is so high. And
Diversity, yeah, very high.
Yeah, very
It's
high.
confused.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people hearsay, you know, it's really scary. The second thing is, a lot of people do not understand traditional knowledge need to be learned. A lot of people, you know, like the traditional way of consuming, like you share with us. People just take the species and consume it the modern way. Some people just say plant it and drink, which is really risky. They do not know what they consume. Does it happen?
See, two things I'll tell you. One thing, the young people are not having mind to follow the traditional way. People immediately will say, no, what is this? I have to take the leaf, take the pulp out, add pepper, ginger, that, this. It's a fast world. I'm going to take one tablet and keep going. Why should? This is the attitude now. The second thing, the people whom this information is documented, it should be properly documented, not absurdly. You have to properly document it in a proper way, traditional way, it should be consumed. Because we don't know. Might be 5-10 plants together when it is added, according to the proportion how you documented, similar way you should consume. Because one plant, if you have more of quantum, the synergetic effect, no, the formula may differ also. So we don't know. That's what I told you. The practical ecological knowledge which has been passed on generation of the generation, which is holding well. That is why we have been following. Suppose one particular information is not holding good to the people, it would have been thrown out in the dustbin. It will not continue for 5,000 years. We are talking about 5,000 history, 5,000 years back.
Can you comment on the use of papaya leaves for dengue?
Papaya, see, papaya is quite useful. A lot of areas people have been doing. Even in papaya, no, one example I recently come across papaya, and people extract alkaloids from the papaya. Instead of going for the leaf as such, they will cultivate only to cull out the papain, that alkaloid. From there, they will be going for anesthesia. Many things is going for modern medicines.
How about the guava leaf? Guava leaf.
Guava fruit.
Guava is very good. A simple thing I'll tell you. Leaf I'll tell you, simple thing. How the documentation is very beautiful. You just the teeth, no?
It smells good. Yeah.
Teeth, no, which is having decay. Simply, you take the guava leaf, then squeeze it, just masticate your thing. Then you just gargle it. The worm inside now will come out. What a beauty! Guava. So local people are doing that.
The young leaves or the
Young leaves. You just chew it. Once gets right. Young leaves. That's the problem with me. I've been nomadic so far, going on exploring that, this and all. But now I'm concentrating. My professor is insisting to write book on medicinal plants. It's on the way. Maybe before completing my research, I'll be doing that book, completing that book. It's going on under the preparation. Maybe in end of 2012 or end of 2012.
Here or only India? Will it be everywhere in Malaysia?
That I'm not sure about. I will think about it. Maybe I can.
But you intend to document the traditional knowledge as well?
Yes.
In addition to just identifying the plants,
Yes.
you document how to prepare, how to consume the quantity.
Yes.
Then you
The recipe also will be put into the book.
Because the dosage, I think, is very important.
And the complete recipe. The recipe includes the combination, the constituents, and the dosage, and how many days. Everything you have to put it into that. But still, I am telling you, because this information has been traveling last 5 years. Any steps, some mistakes has happened. See, for example, I tell you, if I tell one information to her, it goes to the last bench. You just ask her, what is the message I had told to her? It will be coming in different form. So I am telling you, so that means 5,000 years it has been coming, traveling. maybe some errors would have happened different locations, different junction, different generation. So it's better, 100% we are not going to tell you take it granted and put it in your system. 100% we are not telling don't reject it. So let us take it out. You give modern look to the traditional medicine. You examine, validate and give back to them. This is a beautiful exercise. That is why in our country, maybe a lot of traditional healers, we never go all the traditional healers. Now, a lot of business, traditional healer. Because you will, similarly, you have to do this one, validation. Unless validation, no, you cannot take into account everything correct.
Talking about books on medicinal plants and its usage, the Indonesians have published a number of books, especially on the Javanese medicinal plants.
Actually, my aim is that whatever information I cultivate from the tribal communities, everything I want to put it in the book in an assimilable way. So that may be a base for the future peoples to do research on that. That's the way I've been planning.
I hope you consider publishing e-format, e-book. So,
e-book, okay.
Yeah, so you don't really have some hard copies. So everyone all the world can buy this one.
You see, you know the neem trees?
Okay.
For that matter, the misai kuching. But we used to, take the leaf of the neem tree and also misai kuching. One thing at a time, of course. Boil it, we drink the water. And now I'm wondering, all this plant, when we boil it, drink the water, would it destroy the vitamin or the whatever medicinal value that is found in the plant? When you boil it?
No. Actually, what happens? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Even every day I consume 1 teaspoon of powder. See, actually, this churnam, what you call churnam, once you put it in the pulverizer, the final product is called churnam. That churnam, when you take 1 teaspoon and put it into hot water, what happens? Hot water, which is accelerating the process of breaking the cell wall and release the substance, release the metabolites out. So in that 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes maximum, like a tea, no? If you take green tea, just put it in the hot water, allowing 2-3 minutes. By the time it gets diffuses, the molecule which present in that particular sachets getting dispersed, coming out. Then immediately you remove and take it. So nothing wrong in that. It's a way
nothing
of
wrong with that,
Nothing wrong.
You boil it, you can drink
Nothing wrong.
It won't destroy the...
It won't destroy. It's a way of extraction. It's a kind of extraction process. Sometimes you put it in the hot water, sometimes you can put it in the cold water, sometimes you have to put it in the solvent. Ethyl acetate, methanol, chloroform, hexane, so many solvents. So this is one of the methods. Very simple method, hot water, decoction. This has got its own merit. Nothing is going to happen.
So
the neem tree is very useful.
Very useful, no doubt. Beyond the doubt, no. Each and every part. Neem is, what is that? Even one day, no, it's not sufficient to say what for it is used. If you take the neem flower, you take the neem.
You never see the flower.
No, white, creamy, small flowers will be there. You just collect the neem flower, just put it in the ghee and roast it, then take it.
Can it grow in Malaysia?
Neem tree is there, no? Is there? And leaf as such.
I haven't seen the flower.
No, it's there. Very creamy white flowers, small flowers. And when it is blooming, you will get the whole tree is in flower. You can take the flower, a handful, then just put it in the ghee and roast it. Take it. It's very good. Many things. And the young leaf as such, just put it in the mixie, take the juice and consume. Then tree bark. The bark, aged tree, maybe 100, 200, 300 years aged tree, take the bark and crush it, make kashaya. It's good for diabetics. Neem bark, tree bark. Then neem seeds. The one tree, I think, I would see, in this plant kingdom, there are 2 trees which has got maximum usages. One is palm tree. You know palm tree? Borassus flavellifera. There is one palm tree. Palm tree has got the highest number, then neem tree, so many. uncomparable tree, neem tree.
Berry, right? Berry tree.
Berry.
What's the use of berry?
I'm not understanding what tree you are referring.
Berry, B-E-R-Y.
Berry. Berry, no. Berry is a fruit bearing tree. It's a kind of.
The leaf line can eat.
Actually, what I understand, the berry is a kind of fruit. Berry.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of seeds will be there, juicy fruit. It's berry. It's a general name. I'm not getting actual what it is. I'm sorry.
Normally, herb plants.
Because the small fruit,
the young.
come on, hairy one. That is a berry.
I'm not getting it.
Normally, I want to ask you. Normally,
Okay.
the herbs trees the young shoot is more potent than the old one, or which one?
See, there are two things. One is, so when I suggest if you go for Adatoda Kashaya, Adatoda Vesica, I said Adatoda Vesica, that is one plant, Adatoda Vesica, which is one of the basic ingredient in cough syrup. Okay, you understand this level? Right. This particular plant, if I ask to take the leaf and do Kashaya, I will be telling you go for first from the top, first node, the leaf. No. The first node, leave it. Second node, you leave it. Third node, you take 2 leaves and make for Kashaya. It's an optimum stage of the leaf wherein you will be expecting all the ingredients there, not much of concentration. If more of concentration, it will give you better also. Young leaf may not be having adequate component, may not be good for relieving your disease also. So, optimum, that's what everything is beautifully told by the traditional peoples. This information, third node, who told me? Any taxonomist has not told me. The tribal people, traditional people have told me, yes, you take the third node. What is there in the third node? Nobody knows. Why not in the young? We know some sort of reasoning, but why specifically third node? Nobody understands. Understand? Aloe vera. Traditional people says, if it is less than 500 gram weight, don't take it.
500 gram.
Less than 500 gram
Each leaf,
weight, yeah, each leaf.
Less than
Each leaf less than 500 gram, not useful for food.
Not
You can
useful
take it as a cosmetic. But as a food, you should allow to grow at least 500 gram each leaf. I had grown, I showed 1 kilo in our place. And even I have seen in this Patalang Jaya, the shopping complex area, I have seen one place, a very big leaf. It is there. Only thing, you have to keep one plant in one pot. If you keep 5-6 plants together, it won't have space to spread.
Is it true they said you must grow your aloe vera at least 2 years, then we can consume?
1 year, 12 months. Minimum 1 year.
Minimum 1 year.
Minimum 1 year, you will have at least 16 leaves. 16 leaves in one plant. So each one 500 gram if you look at. So 8 kg, one plant.
8 kg.
Do you know anybody, any local researchers who are doing similar work to what you are doing for Malaysian plants?
I'm sorry, that's what I'm not understanding. I couldn't get the correct contact to whom I can intervene. I'm not. But one thing I know, but this ethno-medicinal forest concept that I've been referring here is not being established in Malaysia. That I'm sure. But maybe from Forest Research Institute, Malaysia, I've been to Dr. Rashida. She's been working with the medicinal plants, whom I had discussed. But she said she's also carrying this ethno-botanical documentation. But this ethno-medicinal forest concept has not been established in Malaysia.
Yeah, because I'm sure that there are loads of interesting, useful information here from the traditional folks as well, which is not being documented.
Actually, what happens now, this is happening. The documentation process is going on. Most of the universities, I am not denying that. But what happens now, it is an effective concept to penetrate into the community beyond the years. That sort of concept now, people have not thought of. And that is one of the effective tools to bring species knowledge together, allow to interact, contact constantly, then it will carry the information for the future generation. So that kind of a vision, I think people are not thought of.
In terms of about plants, do you go into the fungal world as well?
Yes, I'm not an expert in that, but fungus, some mushrooms, one information, the fungus which is colorless, whitish, it is consumable. And Ganoderma, there is one fungus, Ganoderma, which is highly useful for cancer disease, Ganoderma. Medicine has also been produced.
Lingzi.
Ganoderma. But a lot of useful plants, that the fungus is there. But my knowledge is goes on, it's very difficult to identify. So I've been concentrating only in the angiosperm, some sort of gymnosperm, to little extent pteridophytes.
Because I know in Europe, they already have books documenting the various edible fungi. So my curiosity was whether we have the same kind of species in Malaysia and in Asia.
Malaysia, a lot of species are there, fungal species. Even I went into Taman Negara with my friend, Taman Negara.
Can I answer for her?
Yes.
Because I work in FRIM.
Okay.
You can get that book from FRIM. Yeah, it's been published, Edible Fungus. It's traditional knowledge.
Okay, it's there in FRIM, huh?
What is good for high blood pressure?
Herbal?
High blood pressure.
Okay, the pressure, hypertension. Right. Sorry. And hypertension, there are a lot of plants are there. See, I don't know whether you might be having this plant in your place also, Malaysia also. There is one plant, hypertension, that is Thyrospermum, Pterocarpus marsupium. And I have been seen on the roadside, a lot of avenue trees, Pterocarpus zalanicus, which is there beautifully on the roads. There is one species, Pterocarpus marsupium, which is there in the wild, that gum, exudate. You take exudate, you just injure the tree, get exudate. That exudate, you have to put it into the water, okay? Then you remove that gum, you drink the water. That is good. Then even the hibiscus flower, I have been referring now, you just take the petals alone, remove the gynecium, throw it out. In 1 glass of cold water, the night, you put all the petals immersed. The morning, you take the water, drinking. The leaves, the petals, you can throw it out.
I eat the hibiscus buds with sambal belacan as ulam. You eat it as a raw, the buds, before it blooms.
Okay.
Just eat it with rice and chili.
That is also good, no?
Yeah, very tasty. It tastes like lady's fingers, like okra.
How about sinus? Sinus, running nose.
Running nose, sinuses, a lot of things are there. Again, see, running nose, sinus is concerned. It's a complicated issue. You have to first identify what is the problem for you.
No, sometimes dusty area.
That's what. Whether it is physiological.
Hiking, yes. Even very cool, nothing happens.
That's what.
When I come downhill, the nose is running again.
It's a complex issue to identify what it is. And generally, there are a lot of herbs are there.
Yeah.
So I would say botanically, Asimum sanctum tulsi, then Adathoda vesica, then Solanum xanthocarpum, then
you should have bring photos.
So many plants are there. But photos are there, but at time, no. I'm sorry. And you will be bored. I'm sorry. More and more, you will be bored also. It's a dry subject also.
How about knee osteoarthritis?
That's what I'm saying. Knee, we have a very famous plant in India, Cardiospermum elicacabum. That is